Hello, everyone. Welcome to Close Look Connections. It's another Saturday afternoon. It's a little bit rainy out there, but it's beautiful. We are inside this warm and cozy studio here. And we're just having a couple of little technical difficulties as usual. But thank you for joining us. Looking forward to having you join us here and interact with us, as you know, through YouTube Live, on Facebook as well. You can send us your comments. And just before we get starting today, today we are going to be talking about inspiration and a very inspiring story. I have a wonderful guest here with me today who I will introduce in a moment. And we are going to hear about his story, his family story, and how, one can inspire others. So, but before we go there, just a reminder again to everyone, join us live. If you don't get to join us live, you can definitely view this later on YouTube as well. But remember, tomorrow is actually our talent show is coming up on November the 21st. And if you haven't already gotten tickets to it, please reach out. There's only a few tickets left for the dinner and the award ceremony. I believe the registration is cut off for the youth that want to participate. But, if you, for whatever reason, just didn't get your application in, reach out and we'll see what we can do for you. We are so excited to have you join us at that talent show because it is going to be amazing. As you know, with COVID, things were kind of crazy the last couple of years, and this is the first event since COVID that we're going to have in person. So yes, it will be exciting, lots of entertainment and lots of wonderful sponsors, as we've always mentioned, and we look forward to having them join us as well. So now I'd love to introduce my guest here, Manny Kang. He is with SEMO Foundation. And I'm going to ask Manny to share his story with us and tell us what this foundation is all about. And again, like I said, it's a very inspiring story. I can't wait to hear the details. So here we go. Manny, welcome and thank you for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Sandy, and to the whole Close Look team. This is my first YouTube Live. So,
wow,
yeah. So I was looking at my phone. There's activity happening over here.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
It's a lot going on, but I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what happens when we're live. You know what? And I always tell my viewers, our wonderful viewers, that, you know what, don't mind if we're on the phone here. Yeah. Because we are just trying to get this link out to everybody so you can join us, because we'd love to hear your feedback and your comments. So yes, there's always technical challenges, but we're going to work right through those. Absolutely. So you're part of SEMO Foundation.
Yes.
Please tell us a bit about this foundation. How did it come about, and who started it and why?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to share our story. It starts from a place of pain. We lost our mother 20 years ago in September 2001, and she was just young, 51 years old. A very short battle with cancer. In her, little time that she had with us, she did a lot with the local community, especially Surrey-based new families that would move here, in support of what's our mantra still to this day: food, clothes, and shelter.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Simo's actually her nickname. Her full name is Tersem Korkang.
Okay.
And everybody called her Simo, S-E-M-O, hence Simo Foundation.
Right.
And we wanted to keep her story alive. I mean, she's not here, but we want to honor that legacy and all her teachings she left with us. So Simo Foundation was the way we can do that.
Oh, absolutely. My deepest condolences. It's not easy losing a loved one, but losing your mother. And like you said, she was so young at the time. And, we've all lost somebody or know of somebody that we've passed away because of cancer, and there's so many different types of cancer as well. But, you took that pain, that grieving that you were going through, and you turned it around and you turned it into something positive. And that's when you and your family created this foundation.
Yes.
And so tell us, you said it's been about 20 years now since the foundation's been in place, or how long?
20 years ago she passed. Okay. And I would say the first few years we were lost. We were pretty young ourselves. We just didn't know how to honor it. I mean, what we can do with the community. And you and I were talking about it earlier, like how difficult it is to ask somebody for a donation.
Yes.
Right? We knew we wanted to help. locally. We knew we wanted to do something with the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we wanted to do something with locals that are, maybe a new immigrant or a single mom.
Right.
But the toughest part was, how do we ask the public for money,
Yes.
right? So we were kind of shy in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
We're a pretty humble, small network. You would think like, most Indian families in Surrey are very well connected and they know
Yes.
lots of people.
Yeah.
But we don't. We didn't.
Mm.
And, our network was pretty small. So that was the biggest hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
How can we do that? So we started with very small events. So it might be, I remember the first event, we had 30 people, we were over the moon.
Oh, yes.
30 people showed up, and a few years later that became 600 people,
Wow.
right? So it's just grown year over year.
Yeah, it's
So,
very
and now we're
exciting.
comfortable, and that's what we try to share with other groups. We work with some local groups where they come to us now sometimes and they ask, hey, how can I get started?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been really fortunate enough to be in that position to work with some youth where they've started their own groups.
Lovely. So you're able to mentor and coach them, show them the ropes basically on how you started, right?
Yeah.
And so you mentioned, yes, it's very difficult to ask for donations,
Yes.
and there are so many charities out there, so many organizations, and it's like, how do you choose, who do you want to donate to? But I think it is very important. And, I think our community here in Lower Mainland, we are very fortunate that when somebody does reach out, everybody does want to help in whatever way they can. And so you mentioned, that you want to provide food, shelter, and clothing, which are the three basics of life, right? So where did that come about? Like, was that from something that your mom had taught you, or why did you think about, these three basics?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it all is 100% based on what she was doing. If there's a young or new family to Canada, those are the life's basic necessities that you need.
Yes.
That roof over your head, your tummy full, and just that all kind of resonates. We didn't know at that time what she was doing
Mm-hmm.
because we were busy in our own lifestyles and being busy
Of
teenagers or what have
course.
you.
Yeah.
But just reflecting back on what she was trying to do, it really all came together. When she passed, I mean, we also were thinking like, okay, but she had lost her battle to cancer. One of the first major events we actually did was a partnership with a local a contact of mine, and it was with BC Cancer Foundation.
Okay.
But really, what was sticking with us was that food, clothes, shelter. Right? That's what we saw her do the most.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her doing the fundraising drives and organizing things in the house and collecting money and calling her friends, calling her network,
Wow.
and generating the funds where she could. And it all really went to those necessities. And that was
That's
at the core of who
amazing.
she was.
Yes.
So we
And
just want to carry that message forward.
that is excellent. And you've created this foundation where you're hopefully you're going to leave a legacy, and you can pass it on to her grandchildren. And I understand you have young children of your own, so you're hoping that they can carry on this legacy as well, and you're instilling those values in them as well, which is amazing. And when you get the youth involved, I think it's good at an early age for them to see, what this is all about,
Yes.
right? And so you also mentioned, I think you have an event coming up. So please tell us about that.
Yeah, our event coming up is November 19 to 21st. So it's a 3-day event.
Okay.
It's called Inspire. So this year it's called Inspire 2021. We started the series of events called Inspire back in 2016. And, these events were galas at a local venue where we could host 300, 400, 500 people and put on an entertainment show, have a full dinner, live auction, silent
Wow.
auction.
Yeah.
But that all hit the brakes last year,
Oh,
right?
yes.
With COVID, and we couldn't host. And really, what our goal was, if you have 300, 400 people at the event, can you motivate or, like the word says, inspire one individual in that crowd, right? And we were very fortunate in the first events that we had, the very early events we had. Every year, I can recall still to this, point, that one person that came up to us afterwards or contacted us the week of, and now they're doing something.
Wow.
Just because they needed a little push or just some clarity, like we needed clarity. We didn't have it. Like when we were lost after mom passed, now we can kind of give that, pay it forward, like they say.
Yes.
So the online did make it tougher, but we had to pivot. So last year in 2020, we turned the one-day gala into a 3-day online fundraiser
Okay.
with online auction, I should say, and it was amazing. I mean, in 2020, we actually ended up raising more money than 2019 at a live event
Oh, wow.
because the sponsors were
Yes.
fantastic. A lot of the people that were connected to us were actually saying, you know what, we believe in what you're doing, and we're going to give more this year. And that was really humbling for us.
Yes. And that's a wonderful feeling too, right? Because it's, they're helping you out, and all your hard work that you've put into it, you're seeing the results, right? And it's those funds that you're going to take and help somebody else with. And so, yeah, because of COVID, I mean, a lot of things had to turn to the online platforms.
Yeah.
So your event this year then, is it in person or is it online?
This year we're doing it online again. So November 19th to 21st at
Mm-hmm.
samuelfoundation.com. You'll be able to donate at that site. You can also enter the online auction area
Mm-hmm.
where we've arranged for some fantastic, unique prizes. So we got all kinds of sports memorabilia from the Vancouver Canucks, BC Lions, unique gift baskets. There's about 60 or 70 items that are up for grabs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
so all the funds from those items will then go to the beneficiaries this year. So we
Excellent.
have 5 beneficiaries that we're working with this year.
Lovely. So there's something for everybody on that online auction then, right?
Yeah,
So,
I was joking with my friends the other day. I said, you know what, you can shop online at
yes.
the auction before Black Friday week,
Yeah.
before Boxing Week. You'll get better deals,
There you go.
but you'll be helping the 5 local charities.
Absolutely. And that's very important, right? I mean, we're going to go out there and buy stuff anyways.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up or birthdays are coming up, and, you're looking for that unique gift. So why not? Let's go online and check it out at samuelfoundation.com. Check out the lovely gifts that are on there. Put a bid in, if I understand
Please.
that's how the auction works.
Yes.
You put a bid in. I think I've done a couple in person actually,
Okay.
and then if you're lucky enough, you're going to get that prize. And like you said, you're helping out a great cause, and it's very important. It's that time of the year too. Everybody wants to participate in the season of giving,
Yes.
but it shouldn't just be around this time of the year. We can give at any time of the year. It's year round. Folks need help year round. And so you mentioned this year you've got 5 individuals or families that you're helping out. So how do you go about finding these folks that you help? Like, do they come to you, or do you find them through community? How do you go about choosing who you're going to help?
Yeah, so yeah, I'd love to expand on that a bit. So there's 5 local groups that we're working with, and then, they do with the money what they need to during the holiday season. So I always say, we're trying to provide a small boost for those charities. I mean, the most notables are the Surrey Food Bank, the Surrey Christmas Bureau. So the Surrey Food Bank connected with us because they have a tiny bundles program that they do for
Okay.
young mothers and children, and that really connected with us. The Surrey Christmas Bureau does an adopt a family program
Yes.
at Christmas time for families in need and to celebrate Christmas. So we're happy to support that. The Fraser Region Aboriginal Friendship Center, they have a housing project that they do. So that's where the shelter comes in for
Okay,
us.
perfect.
A local family called Team Kian, who does a fantastic toy drive, and they're supporting families that are affected by childhood cancer. Because those families are now giving everything they have. They're emptying their wallets
Yes.
to provide, support and treatment for their children. But they're sacrificing. So at the holiday
Yes.
season, they want to do something for them. A local youth club called Club Conquer, and they do a lot of local events, food drives, poverty support. So majority of the money from this event is going to go to them, and then we keep a small, what we call a Samuel support fund,
Yes.
and that's where that part of your question comes in. How do we, discover these people? And I would say that over 90% of the time, somebody's contacted us
Right.
through our website or a friend of a friend, and they said, well, there's a so-and-so family, a single parent that might be going through some hardship, and then we want to keep some funds for those kind of unsung heroes
Yes.
or people that,
Yeah.
again, the same thing, they also have a hard time asking, right? Even though they're going through a hard time, they might have a hard time asking for support.
Yeah. No.
So if we can step in and be proactive, That's what the Civil Support Fund's for.
That is amazing. Yeah, it's very difficult, and especially when a family member is going through a very serious medical condition. And like you said, the family's time is devoted to their care and nurturing and looking after their needs. And they forget about everything else, or they don't have the ability to look after everything else that's going around them.
They're all in.
Yeah, and it's a very difficult time. And, again, I can't thank you enough for the work that you do and your foundation. I mean, it sounds like it's amazing. You're helping folks out there, folks that are in need. And yes, it's by word of mouth that they're finding your foundation. So it tells you that the word is getting out there in the community. People are hearing about the foundation. They're hearing about your cause. They're hearing about what it is that you're doing for the community. And that's just wonderful. So, keep doing that. And I'm just going to check over. Do we have any comments or any questions that we want to address right now? Or we're just going to keep going?
So far, it's just, wow, that's amazing.
Oh.
Your story and the charities.
So kind.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yes, and it is a wow, right? Anytime anybody can help somebody, it's a wow, So it doesn't have to be a huge organization. Your heart has to be in it. If you have a cause and you've got values instilled in you by your parents or by your elders, it's what you're doing is just amazing. So please do carry on. And I think we talked about it in our other conversations. You want to carry on the legacy,
Absolutely.
right? And are you hoping that your children will continue doing this?
Yeah, I mean, that is, I get them involved any opportunity I can at every single event. I make sure that I slow it down and explain what we're doing and
Right.
where this goes. And just in springtime, we had a drive at downtown Surrey, and we had a food drive. And we had distribution day, and we're set up, and it was a horrible windy day and raining sideways. And my little daughter was there that day at the front line, and she battled.
Aw.
The grown up, the big strong guys were
Yeah.
taking cover, and she's like, no, she was getting involved with people, and that was
Wow.
fantastic to see. So let's see what she does with it one day. I'm hoping she can do 10x,
Yeah.
10
And
times what I can ever do in my time.
oh, they will, because they're seeing the family go through that, and you're inspiring them as well, right? You're coaching them, you're mentoring them. So absolutely, and they're so young that they're going to want to continue that. So I think that's just wonderful. So is there any sort of a memory or anything special that you want to share about your mom or about the foundation? Is there anything that comes to mind that you just want to share with everybody?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good memories. I mean, in that time, mom it was just, the sheer joy. Like it was like when she put together some kind of fundraising drive, I just never seen anybody so happy. Like when we were so young, we're like, okay, cool. Like, what's she doing? And
Yes.
we know she was helping people, but we were too young to understand.
Right.
But what people do say that it definitely makes you feel good when you're supporting or giving, and I encourage it. I definitely encourage it. Give where you can, support the neighbor, do something locally. If it is to do with one person, with her time, I mean, the stories I've heard since she's been gone now, in the last 20 years, so many friends of hers that I didn't know that closely.
Right.
I might run into them at the mall, at an event,
Yeah.
and they'll tell me a story, and I'll be like, wow, I never heard that before. And they'll tell me, I met a family a little while ago, how she was there for them, and I didn't know about this at all. And they remember that was their early days. So, but she just got the biggest grin that I can remember when she was able to do something for someone.
It gave her joy, right? So, I mean, it's important. You have to have a passion in what it is that you're wanting to do. And then once you see the results, and something like when you're helping somebody out, it's not something that you necessarily need to advertise. And then the impact that you've left on that family, like you said, 20 years later, you're hearing from somebody.
Yeah.
And isn't that like a wow, right? Because that person that's in need, they will never forget the person that helped them out.
Absolutely.
You know, they will always be grateful. And like you said, you know, whatever we can do for anybody in need, it's very important to get out there and give as much as we can. You know, whether it's your time, given not everybody can always afford to give out money or huge amounts of it. But a dollar goes a long way. You know, $5, you start teaching your kids at a young age. You know, if you're saving your allowance, you know, would you like to put $5 towards this cause, right? So, and it gives them that incentive too. It's like, you know, and you're teaching them, well, you're doing something good for somebody. So I think that's, you know, giving at any time of the year and giving anything that you can is important. But just before we close off here, what are some of the things that you're finding that you need a lot of, or there's a need of? Because I know last year, or I think this year as well, the food bank was hurting because of COVID, and you know everybody's gone through so much, so many challenges. Is there anything specifically that you find that you're short on? Like, is it items for babies, or just generally food and clothing and shelters is where the need is?
Yeah, with a lot of the groups that we work with, you do hear a lot about young parents and, you know, things like baby formula, diapers,
Yes.
those type of things. It's really tough. I mean, the big word inflation is going around right now, and everything is, it just seems to cost 50% more, or, you know, so food costs have gone up
Yes.
for families. We all feel it at every level, but that gap between the ultra rich and the average person has really widened.
It is.
So those necessities go a long way. So when you talk to the people at the local food banks, you see a lot for, you know, toddlers,
Infants and toddlers.
infants and toddlers, and baby formula is a tough one for them,
Yes.
right? Because baby formula is not the cheapest thing.
It's very expensive. Diapers are expensive. You know,
items.
it's very difficult. And if you have one or two small children, you've got a toddler, an infant, it's very costly. So again, yes, you know, even if people want to donate items, I think they can come and donate items. So it's not just money, right?
Yeah, they can. We've had people reach out to us, and a little while ago, somebody donated like, you know, 3 flats of baby formula, and we were able to deliver them to the Surrey Food Bank.
Wow.
So we're happy being the middle person, right? We're happy, you know, supporting that way. And also, you know, when we first started, I mean, we used to think like, okay, let's donate items. But the more and more you start working with some of the groups that do very good work in the community, you can see how they can stretch that dollar up, right? I might buy this item for $1. It's going to cost me $1.
Right.
But when they buy in bulk, like say the food banks,
Yes.
they can sometimes buy 3 times. So
Get at a discount.
I also, you know, encourage cash donations to those type of places. You can give to the food banks direct. And if you have any supplies, and if you're a company perhaps, we've had companies reach out to us where they've had surplus.
Wow.
In good condition, usable, clean.
Yep.
We can forward that too.
That's perfect.
You know, by all means.
Excellent. So that's great. So again, please go on www.semofoundation.com. Check it out. You can check out the whole story there about your lovely mom and this wonderful foundation. And, you know, it's so inspiring to hear your story and what you and your family have done to date. I thank you for what you've done for the community. And also, Manny Kang is also is one of our sponsors for the talent show. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
thank you for everything.
We will see you on the 21st at the talent show.
Looking forward to it.
And again, so November 21st is the Close Look Talent Show. Check it out online, closelook.ca. And as you know, every Saturday, 4 p.m., we're here live. We always try to cover inspiring stories, and we try to bring stories that are close to our community here locally and across Canada. So please check out our magazine online and check out our previous YouTube episodes. And we will see you here again next Saturday at 4 p.m. Thank you so much, Manny. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today.
You're very welcome, and thank you as well for having me here, and happy to share our story. So thank you for the platform.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right. You have a good evening. Have a great evening, everyone. Stay warm. It's getting dark out there, and drive safely if you're going anywhere. Take care.